How are King Charles and Queen Camilla risking the very foundation of the British monarchy, which is cherished by millions? What are the courtiers hiding behind ancient traditions, and why have public favorites, Kate and William, suddenly found themselves in the role of rebels? In this video, sensational facts about secret conflicts and unsavory intrigues are coming to light, potentially shaking the established royal order. If you thought the royal family lived in a world free of scandals and drama, get ready for explosive revelations. What makes the king lose his calm, and why is Camilla defending herself against even her closest relatives? How far will the Christmas contradictions go, and who is really pulling the strings of power? Don't switch off. The hottest details from behind the palace walls are just ahead. Royal Christmas traditions are going through challenging times. Kate and William, preparing for the roles of king and queen, are determined to make significant changes to the long-established order. Many customs that have been ingrained at court for years stem from the era of Queen Victoria, when the British monarchy began to take on its modern form. However, Kate considers some of these traditions outdated and irrelevant. One of the most controversial practices is the exchange of gifts on Christmas Eve. This tradition, borrowed from the German heritage of Queen Victoria, was long upheld in the royal family, especially by Queen Elizabeth. For Elizabeth, deeply religious and committed to Christian values, this symbolic gesture emphasized the spiritual significance of the holiday. However, for Kate, a mother of three and an advocate for more modern views, such a practice seems odd and out of step with British reality. A source close to the Wales family shared that Kate has long questioned the appropriateness of this tradition. She has always found it silly to exchange gifts on Christmas Eve when Christmas itself is the main holiday. She believes this day should be filled with magic and family warmth, and gifts should be an important part of that atmosphere, he said. It's expected that in the coming years, Kate will likely change this tradition entirely to make Christmas more British and emphasize its national identity. At Anmer Hall, one of the Wales family's favorite homes, the customs have already become more relaxed. They don't expect strict adherence to all rules, and the atmosphere is closer to that of the middle class. This contrasts sharply with the more formal events at Sandringham, where Christmas celebrations are held in strict accordance with palace etiquette. Nevertheless, even at Sandringham, changes are beginning to take place. Royal correspondent Jenny Bond, who has followed the monarchy for over 35 years, noted that William is already inclined to soften some of the rules that were in place during his mother's reign. However, no matter how hard he tries, it will be impossible to fully rid themselves of tradition. The royal family in pajamas watching TV? It's unimaginable. A certain degree of decorum is always required, she emphasized. Among the surviving traditions is the need to stay awake until the king goes to bed. This can be quite exhausting, considering that William often works late. His dedication to his duties is so great that even on Christmas, he may not allow himself a proper rest. The king never completely relaxes. Even if he decides not to work on a holiday, his sleep-wake schedule is disrupted by late nights, added Bond. Punctuality remains a key element of Christmas events. Guests must arrive at Sandringham at the exact designated time. Not a minute earlier, not a minute later, a source noted. Another rule concerns the dress code. Casual wear is never seen at royal Christmas celebrations. On Christmas Eve, all guests must dress up for the formal dinner, and the next day, be ready for several outfit changes. Morning service, formal luncheon, and an evening reception in black tie. Interestingly, the gifts under the royal tree are not what one might expect. Expensive jewelry and luxurious accessories are not welcomed. Instead, family members exchange witty but inexpensive gifts meant to make others smile. It's a fun tradition that makes the holidays light and joyful. The main thing is to make people laugh, not to impress with luxury, explained an insider. Another crucial element of the celebration is going to church. Attending the service at St. Mary Magdalene Church is a duty that family members always strictly follow. This tradition has existed for centuries, and it beautifully reflects the essence of Christmas, Bond emphasized. However, some restrictions raise eyebrows even among royal family members. For example, there's a ban on watching TV or playing Monopoly. Instead, the family gathers for the card game Racing Demon. TV on Christmas? That's considered in poor taste, explained an insider. The king prefers that everyone enjoys each other's company rather than being distracted by modern entertainment. Even alcohol is served with caution. Despite the presence of fine wines and champagne, Family members don't overindulge. Kate definitely knows that getting drunk is unacceptable. She understands that as a future queen, such behavior would be disastrous, added the source. Long-standing internal conflicts within the palace have been discussed, with royal insiders stating that the changes William and Kate are advocating for are met with a cold reception from the current leadership. After becoming king, Charles continued to adhere formally to traditions, but many see that his focus is often on international visits and attempts to bolster his image. According to palace insiders, Camilla is not fully supportive of the new initiatives that promote a more transparent and public-friendly model of the royal family. She is skeptical that significant changes will benefit the monarchy and therefore resists any bold ideas from Kate. Some palace staff, who have witnessed the couple's interactions behind closed doors, say that Camilla frequently rejects Kate's initiatives not just due to adherence to the old ways, but out of fear that the popularity of the Waleses will overshadow her own. When it comes to Christmas celebrations, which it seems the entire royal family holds so dear, whispers begin to circulate behind the scenes that the new king has failed to bring true warmth to this festive season. While the traditional gatherings at Sandringham continue, many family members notice a certain tension. Camilla, sticking to old rituals, seems to be trying to preserve the past grandeur, not giving Kate room to create a warmer, more relaxed atmosphere. While the Princess of Wales strives to show that the key moment of Christmas is not status and pomp, but family closeness, Camilla continues to put up barriers, believing that lightness and middle-classness undermine the prestige of the monarchy. One insider, who has worked closely with the king's office, said that Camilla sometimes speaks ironically about the public's love for Kate, thinking that such popularity is just a trend and that people will soon shift their attention elsewhere. According to rumors, Charles is increasingly reluctant to try to reconcile his wife with William and Kate, believing that time will sort things out. He is more concerned with maintaining traditions related not only to Christmas, but also to other significant royal dates. The king himself, according to eyewitnesses, sometimes shows irritation when hearing about William's plans to bring more transparency to family customs and loosen the strict rules that many believe repel the younger generation. Many young aristocrats have long wondered why they must continue to uphold an image of flawless exterior and immerse themselves in ancient protocols when the modern world demands greater openness. However, Charles, surrounded by advisors from the old guard, is in no rush to change, and Camilla readily supports his reluctance to adjust to public pressure. Interestingly, anonymous palace kitchen staff noted a certain contrast in orders from Kate and William compared to Charles and Camilla's preferences. Kate and William prefer simpler dishes and even occasionally advocate for including regional treats from nearby counties in the Christmas feast. They are said to want to emphasize their unity with the people by choosing a menu close to the traditions of ordinary British families. On the other hand, Camilla, according to the same sources, enjoys more refined appetizers and doesn't seek to simplify the festive table, believing that luxury highlights their special status. Charles, witnessing these debates, typically stays out of it and does not make firm decisions, giving the impression that the king avoids conflicts even in the kitchen. This duality becomes especially apparent when it comes to the festive decor of royal residences. Kate has long dreamed of having part of the decorations created by volunteers, children from local schools, representatives of charitable organizations, and just people who consider Christmas a time for creativity and kindness. However, Camilla, according to some courtiers, looks down on this idea. She allegedly does not like concepts that seem overly populous and lacking in royal glamour. She prefers traditional compositions created by professional florists, confident that such an approach aligns with the canon of royal luxury. Further tension was added by William's decision to cut personal spending during the festive preparations. During the same time, Charles and Camilla ordered rare wines and champagne for select guests, highlighting the difference in their budgeting approaches. No surprise that many see this as a manifestation of serious differences in views. The younger generation of royals wants to show that the crown can be closer to the people, while the current king and his wife continue to live by the principle of everything must be by the book, at least outwardly. Subjects who had hoped for change after Charles ascended the throne expressed disappointment, as it is clear that the monarchy is becoming even more closed off. This is especially noticeable in Charles and Camilla's reaction to media criticism, which increasingly supports the initiatives of Kate and William. When tabloids write about how Kate helps low-income families during the holiday period or arranges meetings with ordinary people, the palace tends to downplay these meetings, seemingly uncomfortable acknowledging that true popularity now lies with the Waleses. According to well-informed sources, Camilla sees these publications as attempts to undermine her position next to the king, and she allegedly criticizes those who help Kate and William engage with the press. Too much PR. This phrase, reportedly, is becoming more common in tight circles when it comes to new projects by Kate. Meanwhile, Kate, judging by her actions, seems unaffected by Camilla's displeasure. The Princess of Wales continues to arrange small surprises for palace staff, makes adjustments to the schedule of Christmas events if she sees that someone needs extra time or emotional support. She takes the initiative in organizing group activities for those who have to work on the eve of the holidays and during the festive period. William wholeheartedly supports his wife, confident that such gestures strengthen the monarchy's authority in the eyes of the people. Therefore, many believe that the Waleses bring a fresh breath into the royal family. However, this positive energy clearly irritates Camilla, who, according to palace security, constantly insists on maintaining privileges for the king's close advisors and staff. In her opinion, the hierarchy should remain unshaken, and such democratic experiments could blur the boundaries between those who rule and those who serve. As a result, regular staff feel the contrast between the support from Kate, who is not shy about joking with gardeners or talking to chefs about new recipes, and Camilla's cold attitude, demanding unquestioning respect. According to royal historians, the clash of differing views within the royal family could define the future of the British monarchy. They claim that if Charles and Camilla continue to distance themselves from the public, even the most loyal supporters of the crown might begin to question whether such a king is worth supporting. But William and Kate have long won the hearts of the younger generation, and around the world, people are placing their hopes for reform on this couple. Meanwhile, Charles appears not to grasp how dramatically the world is changing. He remains focused on his so-called duty and reportedly pays little attention to the demands of the public. Camilla, seeing this, is trying to consolidate her influence, but seems forever chasing after Kate's popularity. As a result, Christmas, once associated with family unity, now for some courtiers is filled with tension and unspoken rivalry. The press, always on the lookout for sensational stories, is quick to add fuel to the fire, and the public begins to wonder whether these constant frictions could lead to a deeper split within the monarchy itself. Some royal experts are certain that William and Kate will, sooner or later, take charge of the reforms that Charles has been hesitant to implement due to Camilla's influence. Meanwhile, the public watches as the younger couple shows warmth and openness, while the king and queen seem constrained, adhering to old rules. So, the divide within the royal family becomes ever more apparent. Traditions are crumbling, conflicts are flaring up, and the future of the British monarchy hangs in the balance. How far will Charles and Camilla go to maintain the old order? And will Kate and William succeed in implementing their reforms? The main question is, on whose side will the people stand when the battle for their hearts reaches its peak? Let us know in the comments what you think about what's happening in the royal family. Whose views do you align with? And how do you think this will affect the monarchy's future? Also, what Christmas traditions exist in your family? Share your stories. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. More explosive revelations and unexpected twists are coming your way.